There is second method to estimate working capital. That is what we're going to learn now. Heading: estimation of amount of different components of current assets and current liabilities. This is the second method of estimating working capital. Read from text, wherein each item of current asset and current liability will be calculated and WC, that is working capital, will then be estimated. Some basic points to be kept in mind while estimating the working capital. First point: working capital is equal to total of the CA minus CL. When I say current asset, it includes raw material, work in progress, finished goods, debtor, bills receivable, cash, bank, advance, prepaid, everything. We know this. Current liability includes creditor, payable, outstanding, accrued, income received in advance, all of that. Now, one by one, how do we estimate? This is something that we know. Read: raw material is equal to RM purchase price minus discount, so basically net cost. Second, WIP, RM labor plus only factory overhead is taken, not all overheads, because for WIP you don't need all overheads, only factory is enough. Into degree of completion. If you see the next formula, FG is also same, but there is no degree of completion part, because when you call it FG, it is 100% complete, and there is no use of multiplying a number with 100% to get the same number. Correct? Now my question: if you can recall process costing, if degree of completion is not given in the question, then what is supposed to be our assumption? 50 50 50? No. Material 100, labor and overhead should be 50 50. What is the logic? Because material goes inside the machine at the beginning. What happens during the process is only labor effort and machine effort, which is labor cost and overhead cost. So when question is silent, you can take 100 50 50 and give a note. But if they say it is 80% complete in all respect, then it is 80 80 80. You don't have to make any assumption. Done. Next, FG is same, there is no degree of completion, understood. Debtor is RM plus labor plus all overheads, or in simple it is total cost or sales minus net profit. Yesterday when we worked out receivable management problems, there also we used to take variable cost plus fixed cost. Basically debtor was valued at total cost. Here also we do it on total cost basis. But remember again the same logic, cost incurred up to the point of sale is only considered, bad debt etc. are not considered when they say total cost. Cash and bank as given in the question, because more than a formula, it is something that's decided by the company as to how much cash balance they want to keep with them. Creditor will be based on RM purchase price minus discount, which is same as raw material. If you see in the operating cycle method, whatever we did is the same thing that we're discussing once again. If you observe from 4th till 9th, RM period, WIP, FG, debtor and creditor, it's the same thing that we did. But there we used to consider everything in days and finally convert the value to working capital. But here we have to find out the value of each element. How much of money is needed for RM? How much of money will be blocked in debtor? How much of cash I should keep with me? Every current asset and every current liability will now be individually estimated. Understanding? Next. Working capital is estimated on cash cost approach underline. This we already know. That means if there is a depreciation number, we don't include that. That means if I include depreciation, it should be total cost approach. If I exclude it, is cash cost. So by default, when question is silent, it is under cash cost approach. Read. If we have sundry debtors worth 1 lakh, the debtor worth 1 lakh means this is at sale value. Correct? But what did we study in receivable management topic? Our money is not 1 lakh when debtor is 1 lakh. Debtor is at sale value if it is 1 lakh. Our 1 lakh is not blocked. How much we have spent is cost of debtors. Correct? Read, if sundry debtors is worth 1 lakh and our cost of making that product is 75, then the actual amount of fund blocked by us is only 75,000. Simple. And then imagine out of this 75,000, read the second point. Again, some of the cost items are non-cash in nature. Depreciation is one such non-cash item. Suppose out of 75,000, 5,000 is depreciation, then it is obvious that the actual fund blocked in terms of debtor will be only 70,000 for our calculation purpose. So in simple, there are 2 points. Depreciation and other non-cash items ignored. Second, debtor is valued at cost and not at price. The same logic we applied even in receivable management. When I said opportunity cost, I told you your 100 rupees not blocked. Cost was 70, 30 was profit, only your 70 is blocked. That means debtor by default is valued at cost. Right? Now, sir, one doubt. For WIP, you said factory overhead. Debtor, you said all overhead, which means if there is admin, selling, distribution, etc., that will all come here. In question also, they should give me this breakup. How much is factory, how much is office, how much is selling overhead. If they don't give, I've given a note for you. If overheads are not segregated as factory, office and selling, students can consider overhead simply as factory overhead. If they give a breakup, then we will take it in right place. If they don't give, they simply use the word overhead, take it as factory overhead. And if it is factory overhead, you can take everywhere. WIP also has, FG has, debtor has total cost, which includes factory overhead. So when question is silent, you take it as factory overhead. Today and tomorrow, we will work out some questions where they simply say overheads, and also questions where they give admin overhead, manufacturing overhead, selling overhead, distribution overhead separate. Right? Last paragraph, I'm keeping it pending now because it says there is another approach, blah blah blah. We should first know the base approach. Another approach we will study later. Question number 4. This single sum may take a lot of time. We may spend almost 30 minutes. Sum is easy, but it's important to understand and do and not just copy. Because I told you at the beginning of the topic itself, many students know what into what by what. They don't know why into why by why. Yeah. So you need to understand the logic, then things will be easy, even if they twist in exam. Some different adjustment, if your concepts are clear, you'll be able to apply the subject knowledge. Read. Following is the cost sheet of a product, particulars and amount. Per unit material cost 40, labor 15, overhead 30. You see here, they haven't mentioned which overhead, so take it as factory. Total cost 85, profit 15 and selling price 100 rupees. Raw material in stock for 4 weeks, WIP for 2 weeks, FG 4 weeks, credit 4 weeks, credit allowed to debtor 8 weeks, wages can be delayed by 1.5 and overhead by 4, cash balance is 50,000. All of this I'll discuss one by one in detail. Next, they want you to estimate the working capital for 96,000 units, assuming all sales are on credit basis. Now, a businessman has come to you, he has given you the cost sheet, he has also told you what is his plan. He wants to keep raw material with him for 4 weeks. That means if he is buying today, that should be sufficient for next 4 weeks. Or reverse order, if you read, any day you count the raw material, it should be enough for next 4 weeks. One more way of understanding, if you go to his warehouse, whatever he bought in last 4 weeks should be sitting there. Correct? And he knows his production will take 2 weeks. Once the FG is ready, it will take 4 weeks for sale to happen. Suppliers will give 4 weeks. Debtors will ask for 8 weeks, and so on. He has come with his requirement. Now the requirement is that businessman wants to produce and sell 96,000 units. He wants your help to know how much of working capital money would be required to start this business. Right? Now, how do I reach working capital amount? It's the total of current asset minus current liability. That means I have to start listing out item by item current assets, then minus the current liabilities. I get the answer. In current asset, we have RM. Based on the question, I can see there is WAP, then there is debtor, then there is cash balance and bank balance. Correct? I am not giving anything in advance. So that will be the list of current asset. From there, I will minus the current liabilities. Current asset minus current liability will tell me how much is the working capital. Right? Start. Heading estimation of working capital. In bracket for 96,000 units. Make two columns, particulars and amount. First, current assets. In that, first one is raw material. Listen to me. In Calci, please. How many units are we planning to produce for the whole year? Into how much is raw material cost as per the cost sheet? 40 rupee. In Calci, 96,000 into 40. Whatever number you have, that's the raw material for full year. Correct. Now go to adjustment A. It says raw material in stock should be 4 weeks requirement. That means you can do into 4 by 52. I don't have to keep full raw material requirement on day 1 itself and use it for 365 days. Whatever is required for next 4 weeks, I have to keep it with me. I repeat once again, please go slow. 96,000 units into 40 rupee will tell me how much is the RM consumption for full year. I am not going to buy all of that on day 1 and keep it with me for 52 weeks. I am only keeping what is needed for next 4 weeks. So into 4 by 52 when you do, the number that you get is 2,95,385. It's more important to understand the meaning of this. Please listen. 96,000 into 40 into 4 weeks by 52 weeks. You know the meaning of this? Any day you come to my warehouse, this much of my money will be blocked in the form of raw material. I repeat, any day you come to my warehouse, so much of stock I can show you. That means my cash is blocked in the form of RM to the extent of 295,385. Some doubt, today this is correct, but tomorrow you will use some material. But I will also buy some materials. That means on any particular day, this much of my cash is blocked in the form of raw material. Able to follow? The other way of understanding it, you may not like this way, but this is actually a better way. If there is a fire accident in my warehouse, entire godown is gone, then this much of cash is gone. Am I correct? If 100% of raw material is gone because of fire accident, loss of cash will be 295,385. That is why I told you this much of cash is blocked in the form of inventory. Did you understand? Copy. 96,000 into 40 into 4 by 52. If in the question details are in weeks, you do it in weeks. You don't change that to 28 days by 365, etc. They gave in weeks, you do in weeks. Right, sir? Second, work in progress. What is the adjustment given? It says WIP will take 2 weeks to complete, 50% complete in all respect. Now, 2 weeks to complete, this is the time duration that you need for production purpose in Calci. 96,000 units into. Tell me, is it enough if I take only 40 rupee? 40 is what cost? Material cost. For the production to happen, you also have to spend on labor and overhead. That means it is 40 plus 15 plus 30. Or I can straight away take 85 rupee. Everybody following? But 85 is the cost of one full unit, and you are talking about WIP. And what is the degree of completion? Only 50%. Able to follow? And what is the time period that you need to complete this production? 2 weeks. So 2 by 52. 156 923. Please listen to me. If the degree of completion was separately given for material, labor and overhead, then my working would be something like this: 96,000 into material cost into whatever DOC they give, like this. Labor will be 96,000 into labor cost into, if they give 70%, like this. And overhead 96,000 into 30 rupee, if they give this is another 60%, into 2 by 52. Add all of this will be the value of WIP if the DOC is separately given. Correct. But in this question, in bracket they said 50% complete in all respects, therefore I took full 85, did into 50%. Not every time we are going to do this full 85, depends on the data in the question. Is that clear? Now, what is the meaning of 156 923? Any day you come to my factory, this much of work will always be in progress. That means on any particular day, my 1,56,000 rupee worth cash is in the factory, in the process, inside the machine. Correct? Going by the previous logic, if there is a fire accident in my factory and all the work that was in progress is gone, then my 156 923 rupee cash is gone. Able to follow? That is why I indirectly said this much of my money is blocked. Yeah, copy. So one doubt. For raw material, we already did 96,000 into 40, and now for WIP also we are doing 96,000 into 85. That includes that 40. Aren't we duplicating the same number again and again? No. That 96,000 into 40, think about a hotel. That 96,000 into 40 is the onion in warehouse. This 96,000 into 85 is the onion that is being cut in the kitchen. That was fire accident in warehouse. This is fire accident in kitchen. Either way, onion is lost. That is loss of RM. This is loss of WA. Done. That means what should be next item now? FG. Now if that is lost, then what is it, sir? You made onion dosa and then there is a fire accident. Now that is lost. Correct. See, item number 3. Start writing along with me. Finished goods. Tell me what will happen here. 96,000 units into 85. I don't have to take degree of completion because FG is fully completed. And how long am I keeping that onion dosa with me? 4 by 50. 6 lakh 27 692. Tell me the meaning of 627 692. This much of FG items are always with me. So much of my cash is blocked in the form of FG. That means any day you come to my showroom now. Don't come to factory, that's WIP. Don't come to go down, that's RM. Come to showroom now. I will show you 627 692 worth FGs waiting to be sold. My cash is blocked. Following. So, which is the next current asset? Debtors. Tell me. 96,000 units into. Debtors are valued at cost. That means I'll have to take 85 multiplied by what's the time taken by debtors to pay. Adjustment number 5, not 4. Be careful, it is 8 weeks. 8 by 52. 1 5 1 2 1 2 5 5 385. The meaning of this is this much of my cash is in the pocket of all my debtors put together. Two ways of understanding. If all of them come and pay today, this much of cash will come back to me. Second way, applying the same logic, if all my debtors die today, this is the loss of cash to me. Correct? Everybody, don't worry, later we can kill creditors also. 2 minutes will go there. Basically understanding how much of this is in rupee term. Correct? This much of my cash is in the pocket of all my debtors. If they all die, this much of cash will be lost. Correct? Now imagine all the four, entire raw material is gone, entire WAP is gone, all my FG is gone, all my debtors are gone. The total will be total of my loss of cash. Correct? That's why I said indirectly this much of my cash is blocked now. Correct? Is there any other current asset to be taken? Cash and bank balance, and this is already given because this is something that company will decide how much of cash balance they have to keep with them. And if you add all of this, you get the total of current asset. Two three eight five three eight five. Listen, number is correct. What people don't understand is this a format? Should I write in this order itself? Anyway, I'm going to total. I can just write in any particular order. There is a reason why we write it in a particular order like this. Raw material is the most illiquid current asset, far away from getting converted to cash. Next stage of raw material, WAP is little closer to cash. FG is much more. Debtor is very close. Cash is already cash. So this is in the order of liquidity, least liquid to most liquid. Therefore, don't start with cash and bank on top. Yeah. Students will think, sir, cash and bank is already given. I'll write the format and start current asset first one, cash and bank 50,000 and come. Will they give me 1 mark for that working? God bless you. Yeah. So current liabilities now one by one. First one is creditors. Understand what into what now? 96,000 units. Creditors are for material. That means I have to take only raw material cost into what is the time given by our suppliers or creditors. 4 weeks, 4 by 52. 295 385. Listen, when I said apply the common sense, when I said 1255 385 of debtor, my money is with them, then tell me what is the meaning of 295 385 now? Creditors money is with me. I am funded by them. That's why I am minusing this. I need 2385 385 for current asset, but I don't have to bring in all money by myself. Some money is coming from creditors. Correct? Sir, can we apply the other logic for this? Tell me what is the other logic? If all my creditors come and say, let's be little polite. If all of them come and say, don't pay us even a single paise, this is what we save. Correct? I know you will understand in that logic itself. If all my creditors die, this much I save. Chalo, what next? Outstanding wages. That's when it becomes a liability, correct? Outstanding wages will be 96,000 units into 15 rupee. 1 second. In calci, 96,000 into 15 you do first. The number that you get, what is that now? Total wages for the whole year. Can I delay it by 1 year? No. What's the delay that I can do maximum? 1.5 by 52. That means only last 1.5 week wages not paid. Correct? Any day you prepare this table, last 1.5 week will remain outstanding. How much is this now? 538. Which means this much of employees' money is with me. Correct? I know what you're thinking, but let's not say that. If everyone is gone like this, what is left out finally? Right? Outstanding expenses or overheads. 96,000 units into 30 rupee, and we have not paid from last 4 weeks. 221, 530, 8 or 9. This much of overhead payments are yet to be done from my side. I am keeping others' money to the extent of this. Right? Now you understand why depreciation is not included. There can never be something called outstanding depreciation. I cannot block somebody's depreciation and say, look, I am enjoying their. Where is the logic here? Right? I can delay rent payment. I can delay salary payment. That gives me the time advantage, but I can't delay depreciation and say, look, time advantage. That's the reason why we don't consider depreciation. This will give you current liability total 5 lakh 58. Now the difference between current asset and current liability will be my working capital. Some books write it as net working capital. One and the same. 923. Tell me the logical meaning of 1826,923. This much of our money is needed to run the day-to-day show. Once we start the business, this much of money gets blocked. You have it money, then invest. You don't have, go to bank and take loan. This is the money required for day-to-day activities. Understanding? End of the answer. Question number 5. Estimate working capital for 78,000 units of production, material, labor, overheads, total cost, profit, selling price. Overheads include 18 rupees of depreciation, which means in all my calculation, overhead number to be taken will be 80. Correct? Next, raw material in stock for 4 weeks. WIP will take 2 weeks, material 80, labor 60, overhead 60 respectively. You'll have to do separately. Sometimes they will not give labor and overhead separately and they simply mention conversion cost 60%. Conversion cost is the cost incurred to convert raw material to FG. Now don't include raw material cost in conversion cost. It is the cost incurred to convert RM to FG. What else you need other than RM? You need labor, and you need some overheads. So if they say conversion cost, it is wage and overhead number. Next, FG in stock for 3 weeks, credit allowed to debtors, that is customers, 6 weeks, credit given by suppliers, 8 weeks, delay in payment of wages, 1 week, and delay in payment of overheads, 2 weeks. 1/5 of output is sold for cash, balance on credit. So when you do debtor estimation, you can't take on total quantity sold. Only credit sale should be considered. Right? Next. Company wants to maintain a minimum cash balance of 2.5 lakh. Good to start. Question 5. Working capital estimation. In bracket for first line of the question, 78,000 units. First one is raw material. I want you to try, tell me the numbers. 78,000 units into 117. Understand, this will give you annual raw material, but we are keeping raw material for only 4 weeks with us, so I should do into 4 by 50. 702,000. Second, work in progress. Under that, I'll have to do 3 line items because the degree of completion is given separately. 78,000 units into 117 material into what's the degree of completion for material, 80%, and production will take 2 weeks time. You write this number in the inner column. You write this in the inner column. Anyone? 280,800. Same way, labor component 78,000 into 49. Degree of completion is 60%. 2 by 52. 88200. Overheads, when you do, remember it's not 98. That's the depreciation component. Minus that and take only 80 rupee. 60% into 2 by 52. Total of this is my WIP. 513,000. Again, I repeat, any day you come to my factory, this much of work is always in progress. So much of our money is in factory all the time. Done. Item number 3, FG, 78,000 units into, you shouldn't take 264, that has a depreciation component, so it's not 98, it's only 80. So what I can do, from 264 I can minus 18. That's better. And how long are we keeping FG stock with us? 3 weeks. 110700. The logical meaning of this is so much of my money is there in FG stock. Come to my showroom, I can show you this much worth cash in the form of FG stock. What next? Debtors. But debtors, when you do remember, out of 78,000 units that you are selling, as per the question, you are doing 1/5 on cash. 1/5 on cash should be what now? Balance is on credit. 1 by 5 is what? 20%. That means 80% is credit sale. So either you do into 4 by 5 or you do 80%. This is the credit sales quantity. Correct? This into cost per unit is 264 minus 18. 1 second. Into time given to customers 6 weeks by 52. 1771 200. So much of our cash is with our customers. Correct? Anything else? Cash and bank, which is 2,50,000. Now, sir, one small doubt that 1/5 of sale was on cash. Balance 4/5 we took for debtor. Shouldn't that be taken here? No. They would have considered that 1/5 and reached this 2.5 lakh number. Hello? 2.5 lakh in hand is after considering the cash sale that they are going to make. So you don't have to again do an adjustment for 1/5 of 78,000 into something. Right? With this, I will get total of current assets 43, 43 again 200. Next, current liabilities starting from creditors. 78,000 into raw material cost is 117. And what's the time? We have 8 by 52. 14 1404 000. This much of money which belongs to my creditors is with me. Correct? In a way, they are funding my business. Right? Next, outstanding wages 78,000 into labor cost, and that we can delay by 73. Fine. One more, but when you take, be careful, depreciation shouldn't be taken. 78,000 outstanding overheads will be 78,000 into what, hero? Only 80 rupee, that we can delay by 2 weeks, which means, understand, last 2 weeks expenses are not paid. So if I run away today, this much money I don't have to pay. Correct? That's the easy way to remember this. This much of somebody's cash is with me. If I run away, I don't have to pay. 2,40,000 of somebody's money is with me. 1 second. Total of current 1717. which means 43 lakhs of my money is blocked in different places, and 17,000 of others money is blocked by me. The difference is the excess money that is blocked in my business for which I have to invest. Correct? What's the number? 2625 is the working capital, CA minus CL. Some logical doubts. First doubt, answer. Is it good if this 2625 becomes 36, 46, 56? No. Why no? More money will have to be blocked to do the same business. Understand, my number of units 78,000 won't change. If I collect very late from my customers, debtor number will go up. If debtor number goes up, current asset goes up. If current asset goes up, working capital goes up. Which means, doubt number two, are you saying the lower the number, easier it is for a businessman? That means this 26 lakh according to you should come down, and that will help the businessman. You tell me then, doubt number three, how to bring this 26 lakh down to 10 lakh, 8 lakh, 6 lakh? What should I do, or what can I do? Not just one, don't directly hit the debtors. There are a lot of other things. You start from the beginning. We are keeping raw material with us for 4 weeks, correct? Which means if I buy raw material on 1st September, I won't even touch it till 28th September, correct? Now the next question will be, why are we keeping for so many days with us? Answer may be, our supplier is far away from us. Therefore, if we place the order at the last minute, we may not get it. Then the next solution for that is find if there is a local supplier. Just think about it. If there is a local supplier, suppose we are in Bangalore, there is a local supplier, say within 100 kilometers. Let's count that as local. Should I then keep 4 weeks stock with me? No. If it is 100, 150 kilometers, Monday morning if I call, by Tuesday morning goods will be with me. On a conservative side, take 2 days time, 3 days time. If 3 days is also done, 3 days is what? Half week. If this 4 by 52 comes to 0.5 by 52, then this 7 lakh will straight away come down to roughly about 1.5 lakh. Correct? Just do in Calci. 78,000 into 117 into 0.5 by 52. Much lesser than that, 87,000. 750. That means instead of blocking 7 lakh rupee in stock, you just have to keep 87,000. Roughly about 6 lakh came down. Now if this comes down by 6 lakh, current asset will come down by 6 lakh. Hello. Accordingly, your working capital now will not require 26 lakh. Even with approximate 20 lakh rupee, you can start the business. That means as much as possible, if you want to reduce your working capital burden, find out supplier nearby. Second, work in progress is taking about 2 weeks time. See if you can speed up the production. All of this can be tried, not only one. If production instead of 2 weeks can happen in 1 week, don't you think 513 will come down by half? If 2 weeks comes down by 1 week, then this 513 can come down to 2.5 lakh, exactly half. Then every number will come down in total by 2.5 lakh. That much of reduction in working capital. And then FG we are keeping 3 weeks with us. That means if I produce on 1st September, I'm taking 21 days to sell it. Maybe we can come with some sales promotion, some discount offer, some buy one get one free. With such strategies, we can start moving our FG faster. Hello, if FG starts moving faster, this 3 week can come down to 1.5 weeks or just 2 weeks. If that happens, then this 11 lakh will straight away come down to 5 to 6 lakh. Now you understand why a milk shop business can be run with very low working capital, because all of this for him is in hours. We are doing it in weeks. For him it is 6 hours by 24 hours. Correct? He is doing everything on hourly basis. Morning 4 a.m., night 10 p.m. Within a day, his entire cash outflow will come back. to him in the form of cash inflow. That means he doesn't have to invest any money to start the business. But we have to invest what? 26 lakh rupees. What else can be done? We are giving 6 weeks time to our customers. Correct. In receivables management, we studied if it is too much for you, then maybe you can come with some cash discount offer. If the 6 week comes down to 5 also, then the 17 lakh will come down by 2-3 lakhs approximately. Correct. One cash discount strategy can bring down your average collection period from 6 weeks to 5 or 4 weeks, and if that happens, you will collect cash early. You are keeping 2.5 lakh cash. We can recheck whether this much of cash should be really kept. If it is too much, you can invest 2 lakh rupee in investment and just keep 50,000 with you. That 2 lakh in investment account will grow, and that will reduce your working capital burden. Here, this will come down by 2 more lakh. This is what companies continue to try and do. They won't get all the solution fixed in one shot. And not only there, you can even try this way. Here you tell me, what should I do now? 8 weeks should go up. As of now, I am keeping only 14 lakh money of my suppliers. Imagine if they start giving me 12 weeks. This number will go up. That means that much of extra time I get. 4 weeks extra time. That means that much of delay I can do. And when I do 78,000 into 117 into 12 by 52, if 14 lakh becomes say 20 lakh roughly, that means creditor is funding 20 lakh rupee to my business. Correct? And this already 1 week or 2 week, if can be extended, this can also go up. If current liabilities go up, then your working capital will come down. That means the primary objective is to bring down working capital investment, because the big problem in working capital is you block the money and that money won't grow. Tell me any of these current assets, if you put 100 rupee there, will that 100 ever become 101? RM, WIP, FG, debtor, cash, all of this 100 today, 3 months later also will be 100. It can go down. Material may become obsolete. WIP, if you don't produce properly, there may be wastage and scrap and other things. FG may cross the expiry date, you may never be able to sell. That means 100 rupee may only come down, but 100 won't grow. But instead of 26 lakh here, imagine, think about it. A company has 100 lakh funding. Now they need 26 lakh as per your calculation only for working capital. Correct? And balance 74 lakh is what they can use for fixed asset and long-term investments, etc., etc. If this 26 comes down to 16 also, you can buy fixed asset and make extra investment to the extent of 10 lakh. As of now, if you have 5 machines, you can buy 1 more machine if you get that extra money. And any money invested in fixed asset or investment, it will grow, but the money invested in current asset will never grow. That's why here I'm using the word blocking of money. In chapter 2 investment decision, I never said by purchasing machine I am blocking my cash. It's not blockage, because machine will help me to produce and sell and earn. And money invested in any long-term asset, there is a growth because you generate something. But you buy raw material and keep it with you for 4 weeks, nothing extra achieved from day 1 to day 28 or 29. The 100 rupee raw material will be worth 100 only. It may get deteriorated, may go down, but the value will not go up. Able to follow? One summary. Is it easier for a service industry to handle working capital problem than a manufacturer, based on what you learned in last 2 sums? The biggest part, if you see in any current asset, out of 43 lakh, here you see your inventory itself is 7 plus 5 plus 11. About 23 lakhs out of 43 lakhs is just the stock, and stock is illiquid current asset. Blocking money in stock is more dangerous than blocking in debtor. Debtor can at least get converted to cash quickly, but in the form of RM, WIP, FG, money won't get converted to cash quickly. If it is a service industry, then you will not have RM, WIP, FG, you will only have debtor and cash, and this side you will have some outstanding wages and outstanding expenses. You can start a service industry with slightly lower working capital compared to a manufacturer or a trader. Trader will have only FG, he will not have RM and WIP. That means in the order of complexity, working capital in manufacturing industries, the requirement is high, trading is medium, and doing the service industry, working capital requirement will be very low. This is a practical application of whatever we studied. Did you understand? Everyone? Yes, sir, you had a doubt. Tell me, current ratio in this question is what, sir? 43 lakh is to 17 lakh. How much is 43 by 17? One of you. 43 lakh current asset, 17 lakh current liability. 2.5 is to 1. If they ask in exam, current ratio will be 2.5 is to 1. Huh. If we try to decrease, then it will come down, but it should never come down to 1 is to 1. It can be more. It can be, that is why 2 is to 1 is considered ideal. That means you need to have more. See, don't understand 2 is to 1 as always double money. It should be more than your current liability, but more shouldn't be too much. And it also doesn't mean it has to be just 1%, 2% above this. So if a company has 1.8 or 1.9 or another company has 2.1 or 2.2, that doesn't mean 2 is the line, that side is good and this side is bad. That's not correct. Understanding? You need to have more current assets than current liability. That is from a safety perspective. But the flip side of that is, if you have full 2 is to 1 also, like in this case 2.5 is to 1, more money gets blocked. Now the question is whether I want to block more money or I want to block less money, and then I will not have a very, very smooth working capital. Now 2 is to 1, we may say, sir, we are blocking 200 rupee for 100 rupee. Today we are crying, we are blocking money, but in some other topic you say it should be 2 is to 1. That is exactly the contradiction. Finding the best balance is the job of a finance manager. Neither you should block too much, nor you shouldn't have so less that you cry for liquidity. Understanding? Sir, this logic is same in every working capital chapter. In inventory, keep extra stock also 5 problems, keep less also 5 problems. Debtor, give more days also problems, don't do also problem. Cash excess problem, shortage problem. Add everything, working capital, excess also problem, shortage also problem. Finding the balance is our job. Correct, sir? Yes. Sorry, if they ask current ratio in this question, okay, correct. That is that last paragraph which I have not discussed yet. There is one story I said I'll come back there. When we go there, I'll explain. Everyone, logically, did you understand? Think about it. If I have to prepare this statement for a CA office, tell me what will happen. From top, you tell. It will be debtors. Say, for example, 1,000 clients, 1,000 rupee fees, 6 months time. What will happen? 1,000 units into 1,000 rupee into 6 by 12. That's the debtor. Next is cash and bank. Say I want to keep 50,000. So debtor plus cash and bank plus if there are any advances, deposits. All of that is current asset. Minus what? Current liability. What's the current liability in the CA office? Salary payable and outstanding expenses. Maximum you can delay both by 1 month. Correct? Last month salary paid in this month, last month overhead paid in this month. That means outstanding salary, 1 month salary, whatever salary into 1 by 12, overhead 1 into 1 by 12. Now the current liability, current asset minus current liability, that is the working capital you need to start a CA office. And that number will be much, much, much lower than this. But there you will have to make some investment for fixed asset, laptop, printer, furniture, chair, and all of this to sit and work. So that's a combination of some fixed asset and very less working capital. Able to follow?